Okay, now it's 22. So, hello guys, how are you? This is Reading Addict. Now I have a very special guest on my platform. So, this gentleman has been reading philosophy for a very long period of time. He has read a number of books and he has some good understanding of his field. He is not an expert, he is still a learning student, I would say that, but he is very certain about certain concepts. So I would like to have his ideas about certain concepts that I was always thinking in a very deep manner. So I will start with the philosophy. What is philosophy and what is his opinion? So this gentleman is my friend and his name is Lally. His name is Lally. Yeah, actually, his name is Lalit, and now we will be together on this video and we will discuss what is philosophy. And I hope you are listening to Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan in the background. I do apologize for that, but that's the bare minimum that we have to bear with. So now Lalit will be on the screen and we will talk together, and that will be a dialectic discussion so that we have good understanding of the concept. So, so here is my friend. Hello Lalit, how are you?
Hello.
So Lalit, in very simple terms, you know that we are not, discussing about the world and or about the science concepts or about the universe. I just want to know about what is philosophy from your point of view and what is the value of philosophy from your point of view. What is your understanding and how it is helpful for your life and what role it plays into your life.
Actually, what I understand with the philosophy is that when we go into the definition, it is simple meaning philosophy, to love the wisdom, and that is why I am into it. Actually, from the very beginning, I was very into the keen into the wisdom, and I don't know how, but it was into me from the very beginning, from my childhood. I love the ideas, and I keep them chasing, and I try to understand what life is and what it should be. That's how I started it, and I don't know. I am not expert on this, but I have my opinion that I can share. Otherwise, nothing is special with me.
That's very good, Lalit. Thank you very much. In your point, you mentioned one thing which is very important, that I don't know why you love philosophy. That I don't know is very important point, because I don't want to go deep into that. But for now, I do understand that you enjoy philosophy.
Yes.
And somehow you like philosophy, somehow it has become an interest of yours, right?
Yes.
So now when we go deep into philosophy, so I would just want to know, like, there are so many philosophers, right? And we usually get confused who is the best philosopher. Sometimes we don't know. There are so many philosophers and there is so much, you know, uh, disconnection, kind of, from one philosopher to another philosopher, and there is some gap. So what do you think, which is the best philosopher in your eyes so far? I will not judge you, I just want to know your opinion. Who do you think is the one of the best philosophers, if not only the best philosopher, one of the best philosophers you think in your eyes?
What I have read, I can just simply suggest there is one philosopher. He is too easy and too hard to understand at the same time. His name is Spinoza. Even Einstein was too fascinated with him, and you can say he is hard to understand and easy to understand at the same time.
Lalit, if you don't mind, can you just explain one single point of Spinoza that that intrigued you, which made you make him the best philosopher among all? what is the best point that you found in his teaching that is still lingering in your mind, and that is still that you like about his philosophy? Just one point, I would really appreciate that.
Actually, his whole life was fascinated to me when I read his bio. It was not his biography, but his lifespan and his ideas discussed by some other writers. And at that point, I was too much fascinated about his life because the circumstances he has faced, and quite relevant to every student who is in love or who has some wisdom. He would love his ideas and his biography, because his biography is too relevant to every spans of time, because we have to face some critical ideas and a critical moment whenever we try to indulge into the life, and to indulge into the life we have to go through the philosophy. I feel that.
That's
And
that's good to know. uh, I would really thank you for your answer for this, first of all. And now I would just delve into, basic conversation about some of the commonest things. Like, why do we have a theist and theist? Why there is not just one category of people? Why there is so much confusion? Can you please elaborate on that?
I cannot elaborate on anything, but I can
I
make one thing sure that
I
there
I, I, I do respect your frankness. Yes, I would really appreciate your answer on this.
but what can I can be certain about one thing. There is only one thing certain about the human nature, is that it is uncertain.
That is one of the best points.
Yes.
That's true. So, according to you, that human nature is uncertain, and that is why the associated concepts are also uncertain. Whatever is belong,
Outcome is
whatever
always
belongs to a human being, that will also be something uncertain.
every outcome of the human behavior is stimulated by the environment he has faced into his life, and that's why I always suggest, whenever you read some philosopher, you have to dig into his personal life
Okay, and
whenever it is possible.
that's a good point. You mean to say that if you want to understand a philosopher's ideas, it is always important to understand his biography as well, and the social circumstances of the time.
Yes, yes.
That is a very good point. And I had some important point in my mind. And what would so now it is about the books. I understand that you have read some books. What is the best foundational books that you would recommend to someone who could get a good understanding of philosophy by that book?
For a naive student or someone who will want to study the philosophy, he must read Sophie's Life. And once he have studied the Sophie's Life, one should read some books like History of Western Philosophy or something like that, so you can get different aspects of the philosophies before indulging into something very deep. Once you get, I think, what I have feel that you have to understand a brief concept of every field of the philosophy before indulging into something very deep.
Okay, so that is true. The main point is that we have studied together this Sophie's history, Sophie's philosophical journey together. So I do understand that at that time when I was reading that book, in that book, the concepts are extremely simple,
Yes.
and the foundation is extremely interesting because you never get bored, and there is a story element as well. apart from the philosophical discussion, you will get a personal taste of Sophie's life, and concepts are very much related. So whenever the author is talking about one philosopher and how the second philosopher is connected to the first idea and what distinguish that philosopher, so all those aspects are explained very nicely, so that in this chain manner you understand the whole book, the whole ideas of the whole philosophical works of so many authors. So that is a very good or relevant book that you recommended. And in my eyes, if I suggest any philosophical book, then I definitely need a couple of minutes to ponder on this subject. But I would definitely say that in general, if you choose any textbook, any introduction to philosophical introduction to philosophy textbook, that will be a relevant book in order to understand these philosophical concepts before you delve deeper into individual philosophers. So according to Lalit, I would say Sophie's philosophy book is a good example. And secondly, you can also choose any introduction to philosophy. That is also a good example. I would say that. So I think we will cover these philosophical discussion topics later on in our other videos. For now, give us permission to go, and we will connect very soon. Thank you very much.